All right, we are on 5/19, May 19th, recording the session. Was waiting for the other one to finish. First trade of the day we took was off of the momentum level. So it pulled back in here. We see that the previous pullback was at the 50 on the PSI. As soon as it came back to the 50 on the PSI again, we have a lot of momentum. Our bars are bright blue. So we hit that trade, took it for the higher high because it's a B level. So that B level, we're going to look to get in and we're going to look to get out, especially when the market has already been running. We're not holding this forever. So we got in at that pullback. We got here, secured the bag, and moved things forward $240 on the 50K accounts. One trade closer to hitting the evaluation targets for everybody. Now the market has come back to that 50 level, dipping a little bit lower here. And the market from this level, we could see it go one more time to the upside here. It could go two more times to the upside. It could continue in that pattern for a little while. Every time you take it, it gets a little bit riskier because as the market creates a wave up, it must eventually create a wave down. Okay? So it doesn't mean that getting in won't win or anything like that, but it's just caution. There is a pattern. That pattern will break. We do see on this one that the sellers did push the strength indicator down a little bit lower. So we do see that the conviction of the buyers is lessening. So it does become a little bit more risky to enter those trades when that's happening. But the first one is a win. Previous to this recording, we were just talking about entry and exit a little bit. We talked about how you could literally just go from signal to signal. So you could enter the selling signals, hold them for the buying signals. You could enter the triangles, which are pullbacks into the cloud. Those tend to be those slightly deeper pullbacks. You could enter as soon as the market pulls into the cloud after a buying or selling signal. But you do want to see those diamonds. You want to see that strength. You want to go in the direction of the strength in the market. So right now it looks like we're getting the deeper pullback. So this is the initial deeper pullback. This is where those old 1.2 signals come in. So for those of you that like those 1.2 signals, those bigger triangles, this is where they occur. I think I still have them on here. Yeah, these. This is where these occur. So it hasn't occurred yet, but these deeper pockets, that's where that deeper pocket kicks in. And as long as this stays above the 35 level, so as long as it stays above the 35, then you'll see this stay with that bullish momentum. If it breaks below that, we're going to get a deeper pullback. You're going to have a deeper pullback kick in. Now, we've already decided this morning, because we see all these diamonds and we see all this strength to the upside here. See, this is already kicking back deeper and kicking in the selling. So with that selling coming in, we're going to wait. So we're going to let the selling come down. We've already decided we're going to wait for that to see where the market structure is that forms a base, and then either trade back to the upside from that level, or wait for it to shift back to buying and then get in for the buying and hold for higher highs. But we may take the initial entry where we find support in the market. So we're now switched to selling. So we're now in a deeper pullback. This was a good skip. We skipped the one that lost. So that was a good job, everybody, on that one. Now we're going to mark up our Fibonacci because the pullback could be a Fibonacci pullback. It could just pull back to our cloud in here, and we might find the support from the cloud. That'll give us a level that we want to get in. But I'm going to look, where was the last segment before the buying kicked in, and it was right here. I'm going to actually take that level, and that's where I'm going to draw my Fibonacci from, which is right about where that Pathfinder basis is from Pathfinder Official. We're going to mark this up. I'm going to draw to the top of these bar closes. Now I know where my 50 is, I know where my 27% extension is, and now this is just a waiting game. We don't enter onto this, we're not trying to take any sells to the downside because the overall strength is to the upside. We want to go with the strength of the market. Okay? Now, this is interesting. The pullback that we're getting here is a diamond. So we're getting a diamond pullback here, which shows some strength pulling down to the downside. So we may be able to take a trade from this. If it is going to pull back, it depends where we're going to come down to, but we might have enough room to be able to take the trade back down into the 50% level on the Fibonacci. It all kind of depends what happens here at the cloud. Now you can see it rejected off of this level at the cloud where that diamond would be. So the diamond didn't stay on the chart, but it did pull back near that level. So we'll see how it reacts off of our cloud here. But that cloud level might be the level that the market continues from. Let's take a look back at an example of a strong run. We could take a look at this one here. What happened? If we were to mark this up, here's where that last bit of selling pressure came in here. This one pulled back to the cloud and then actually pulled farther back. So you can see it did give one bounce off of the momentum, pushed higher to the 50% level. After rejecting around the 50 to 61% level, that came back down and switched back to selling here, pulls back to the cloud. That's an entry to continue to the downside. So we may see something like that. Even if you dragged your fib up to the top here, you would see that it was a 50% rejection from top to bottom on that wave, 50% pullback to there. So we may even see something like that. That would put us from here, that would mark us up to here. So first bounce is at 27%. And now we're watching to see how the market responds. So this is just a waiting game. It's already had its first pull back to the cloud right here. So it's already pulled back to the cloud. That's where you're going to see that momentum continue from typically. That's where we would normally trade from. As you can see, pushing down is exactly what you want to see with the momentum. You got to love that momentum cloud. It really, I mean, look at these entries here from that momentum cloud. Just fantastic. Even right here, entry, 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 just really good. When you've got that momentum and you hit those, superb. What we will often see in the market is we'll often see the market come down on the initial pullback. If it's going to go deeper, it typically comes up first a little and then you'll see it go deeper. It doesn't typically just go from here to here to here. There's usually a little bit of back and forth in the market that happens. All right, let's check on you guys real quick, make sure everybody's good in the chat. Not necessarily, Jessica. I mean, you can trade at any time. You could also trade earlier. It's up to you. I like to trade when the market has the biggest moves because that's where the most money is made. That's where the biggest trends are. I like to play where the big boys play during New York Open. Nothing wrong with trading early in the morning. Nothing wrong with trading at night. I mean, you guys can see here, this is from last night. Here's 8 o'clock last night. Big sells, just wins all over. Another big sell Another big, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to make money in here, just a lot of opportunity. So plenty of room to make money wherever you want to trade, whatever suits you best. Now again, remember guys, we're looking for a bigger continuation to the upside. So that's why I'm not taking these sells. Okay, I'm not going against the overall strength of the market. I want to wait for the market to be back in my favor, and then I will continue on in the market, the direction of market strength. Until it shifts. If it shifts, then I'll switch teams. All right, we've potentially found our new base. We'll see here. The market is making that rise up. We need to see this get to the 65, which is, I actually want to see if I can shift this on here. Yeah, you can shift this on here. And I just already know somebody's gonna be like, that's not what mine looks like. Like, I know, guys. I know. But if you want to know where those levels are that I'm looking at, once it gets above that 65, that's the signal that we have strength again to the upside. This is based on a lot of historical data. Probably the next thing I'll update on the PSI. This is the level of where these go. Now you guys know the 60 and the 40 are levels where the market will sometimes bounce from and reject and go the other way. Do you also remember on the Pathfinder basis, remember how I taught you guys that when you have a move and it pulls back, starts going selling, and then it closes back above this level? Guess what that means? Headed back that way. Likelihood, not guarantee, likelihood. We work on likelihoods. We work on probabilities. Okay, we're probability momentum traders. Where all you're doing in trading is giving yourself high probability trades. That's the whole name of the game. Manage your risk and do high probability trades. Now, for those of you that like that Pathfinder basis, I want you to notice something here. You notice how the market respected the basis until it didn't, right here? So you can use that to your advantage. If you're someone who wants to stay in trades a long time, get in at the signal, stay in that trade until that closes below your basis, and then exit right there. And you can hit huge moves in the market. A little golden nugget for you guys. You'll see that over and over again. Over and over again. You're gonna see that. All right, let me ask you a question. Does the market have momentum to the downside? If I was going to take a sell, do I have momentum? Am I in a momentum trade? Do I have like a strong trend momentum, or is it a potential reversal? What is it? Oh, you said playing for both teams. Nope. My door goes one way. This is not a Wyckoff. This is not a Wyckoff. Wyckoffs they're bigger. They're bigger. This is just a pullback in the market, finding a new basis, and then we're looking for the market to continue to the upside. Now I am curious about something over here on this one. Oh yeah. Yep. Cool. I'm down. If this does what I hope this is going to do today, guys, I'm about to make you sweat. We're about to inflict some pain. By the way, you would not take this reversal. You would not take it, because you're totally going against the entirety of the market and the momentum and push of the market. You're totally going against it. And if it was going to turn around, it would do it from that dotted line. So if you start closing over that dotted line, okay, you get above that dotted line, you're headed back to the upside for at least a higher high, at the very least. Like this is already about to head in that direction right now. We already closed back above the basis. We're now closing above the dotted line here, which was the last low before this thing failed to make the higher high and sell off. So that's where buyers were trapped. If they wanted to sell, they'd be selling it from this level. Could even be this level right here, but typically you're going to see it on the wave. There will be like a failure to push the high, and then it'll come back to that level and then reject from that level. And so we're already seeing the market kind of push up above that a bit. And so we still have to wait here a little bit, because we don't want to take any guesses at the market. We want to wait till we have confirmation, because this thing could come down lower first. Your challenge as a trader is that for the buys, the market is valid for buying as long as it stays above this level, because this is just a wave on the higher time frame. which means your pullback could be anywhere in here. That's your challenge. Oh, hold on. We don't want to delete all of that. I wish there was a way to lock. I wish there was a way to only delete 7, or the most recent drawings. I don't see that. That's okay. That'd be great if TradingView allowed that. Yep, a deep pullback to the upside. That's right. The basis is going to be on your Pathfinder official, which shows up as Pathfinder close. Even though it's not Pathfinder close, it's just Pathfinder. But because it has the close 20 to close 6450, it shows up as Pathfinder close, but that's not what it is. It's just Pathfinder, or aka Pathfinder official. Okay, see that right there? That is a sign of bullish momentum right there. I'm going to take my first entry of 3 contracts right now, okay? First entry of 3 contracts right now, closing above this previous high. I'm anticipating some push higher. It could still dance around in here a bit. So I'm giving space for the market. Maybe not giving enough space, because again, this thing could come all the way down here. But the whole point is this, is the market starting to grind and turn around from this level. If it reverses from this level and comes lower, I'll still be bullish because of the overall momentum of the market. This one's already not doing what I was looking for it to do from that level. I was looking for that fast continuation from here. So this one's already pulling back deeper. We'll see where this is going to come to, because already looking, I wanted to see after that close there, I wanted to see the continuation and the shift also here. And instead, it's still standing here, so it's still not quite ready yet. Still not quite ready yet. Up to you guys if you want to. Where are we at on it? I'm going to take my little $100 loss here. That did not do what I wanted it to do. I'm not going to give back everything I made, but I'm going to give back some, even though the likelihood is that it continues up. I just don't like how instead of moving where I said move, it pulled right back in. So I'll give a little bit of equity back for the sake of not allowing this thing to come back down here on me in case it does. I'm just playing the probabilities here, because if it rejects from that level, you could get a big drop and then it'll come down here and then it'll shift to the buying and we can get a much better position, and I don't need to take a loss there. So that right there needed to be that continuation and it wasn't. So I'm going to sit on the sideline personally on that one. Take a small loss as that thing kind of comes back towards my entry. No harm, no foul on that one. Exactly. That's exactly why right there. Good job, guys, on not giving the money back. Don't give it back. Take ground and hold it. All right, how's this coming along? 9.5%. Okay, so market is coming back down. We might bounce from this level, or we might drop down here lower to the 50. Either way, patience. Patience, patience, patience. Angela, were you able to get your basis back? Yep. Okay. Yeah, you uploaded it correctly. No, I've got my big red triangles hidden. I have them turned off right here. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of things. Just don't get too much information going in your mind. Just wait. The number one thing is overall direction and strength. And even if this pulls all the way back down into here, it's still bullish. Even if it pulled to here, it'd still be bullish. But we're not trading any patterns or anything like that right now. Right now I'm teaching you guys a system to be able to trade with. And I can already tell you that there's other stuff going on here than this thing just going to the seller's strength. This market is not just selling. So we are definitely looking for the buying opportunities. It's just a matter of waiting for it, regardless of all the other things. I mean, you could see a wedge form here and here, and then all of a sudden it goes like this, and then it goes doop, and then it goes doop. You know, you can see that. You see all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna take a quick break, grab water. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. We're just waiting. I do want to see if I can set the alert on here. Yeah, we want to know when those buy alerts happen, and I want it to say attention. And I want to know when the sell alerts happen. I want those to also say attention. Okay, cool. All right, I'll be back in just a moment. All right. Okay, so we're just patiently waiting here this morning. Here's our 50% level here. I'm just going to clean up my chart. Angela, what you're going to want to do is set an alert for on 4.0. Go to add alert, set alert 4.0, and set alert for buy alert. Make sure that that you've got that set, and make sure you have TradingView downloaded on your phone and you're logged in on your phone on TradingView. If you have that, it'll send notifications to your phone when that happens, but that's what you're waiting for. You want to wait for the buying indicator, first pull back to the cloud, the momentum cloud, and then you're good to go. That's what you want to wait for. Until then, though, we have to be patient. And then we have to be even more patient. Because imagine you guys were waiting like this, but you're waiting in profit. And you're going to be so tempted to close. It's going to be very challenging. Okay, we have seemingly found a base here, or at least a base level of support. Turn this off. Remember, always, the impatient give their money to the patient. So if you guys need to do other things while you wait, just set an alert and go do other things, which is potentially what I might do here as well while we wait, because we're just waiting for the market to kind of settle out, find a new base, and then from the base we're looking for that shift up off the base, and then once that happens, then it's go time. But until then, you just wait. Now, the one thing that I really love about this right now is you see how we're red down here, but you see how the market is not pushing down? So this right here does not match this down here. And I really like that. That tells me the sellers do not actually have any momentum to the downside, and that this market has the strong likelihood of continuing to the upside. And so we should get our bag today. If you guys can be patient, you're going to get a bag today. It's just going to take a little bit of patience here while we wait for the market. You can't rush the process. It looked like we were going to get it right here, but it needed more testing apparently. So right now we're just waiting. And I think we're getting closer to the shift happening actually. I don't think it's going to be too long now, but it could take time. I don't think we're going to be too long now. There's some things that I'm seeing on the chart that are potential for the potential shift. All right, who's got patience this morning? Who's got the patience? My gosh, there's some funny emojis on here. Got the patience. I'm pretty sure that's Trump in a Mexican, like, sombrero hat. That's funny. Patience is what we do, guys. Patience is what we do. Really, we get paid to wait is what we do. We get paid to wait and then execute when it's time to execute. It's all about the timing. I know it gets really boring though. It's like, hit the snooze button and everything's quiet, and then all of a sudden, everything comes alive very quickly. And we're about at that point from what it looks like. Okay, this is the same thing that I was seeing earlier here, except this is at a better level. And I like seeing us close over that white again. So this looks better. We should be getting our buying signal coming in here in just a moment, 1 or 2 candles. And then first pullback to our momentum cloud, we are absolutely just getting in. If you want to get in, depending on what that candle looks like and how far away it is, you might even just add the initial position on the buying indicator. But if you want to wait for the pullback, you're going to get additional positions here. So this is about to pop off. Here we go. This right here, I believe, is the start of the end of this little consolidation area. So just kind of mark that up. We got support here. And I believe it's time for us to start looking for these to the upside. Oh, this is so close. So close. I'm very interested to see where this rejects from and what it does here. I would love to get a position in the market. Because this might reject from right here. It could reject right from this area right in here, but this is one of those trades where it's looking like it's going to do that. I just don't want to be premature on this again, so I'm trying to be patient. But this was so close to giving us the shift that it's got that high likelihood. And then when it goes, it's going to be one of those things where we want to get in right away. I just don't want to be premature on it. Nice. What did you trade in there, Lisa? Did you take a buy or a sell? Because definitely that support level was a potential buy level right there on support. Yeah, nice. Good snag. That's totally a legitimate trade. Totally. You just have to give space because it can easily give you the stop hunt. You have to give space for the market, but you had a high likelihood of, even if it came here, for it to bounce. And even if you take it from here and you go to the 50% level, that high is a 1-to-1, so getting higher is more. So you had every right to get it from that support level, which was already halfway to the 50%. And of course, if you stay under leveraged, you can just hold it. Okay, there's a chance we're gonna bounce. Chance that this is gonna find support right here and go to the upside from inside this cloud. It's still pre-momentum, just FYI. Still pre-momentum. This right here, though, is what I was talking about, though, where this thing nearly shifted, and then you're starting to move, and you're moving from both the cloud, the momentum cloud, and the gray cloud. So you have a zone in here where that market could come back in and then push. And even here, even to the high is a 1-to-3 from that level. That's such a good trade setup. This might get going here. Yep, here we go, guys.
Attention.
Okay, buying. First position is going in the market. Let's see. What was that initial one at? 394.75. 394.75. Flirting at that same level. We want to see that momentum continue. So remember how I said it might come back to this? It might come back and touch this area here before doing anything. Okay, here we go, we're blue. Just looking for this to shift blue, so that way we have that momentum confirmation. I don't expect any big moves until that happens, so it's still just slightly premature that you can see we're pushing that level. So I'm in at 3 contracts here. That gives me enough room to be able to hold my position, to give it a little room in case it pulls back first. But we are looking for this thing to start to skedaddle to the upside. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for the skedaddle. This is where I would love to get to if we had a nice strong run. But it may only get to the higher high here. There's also always that possibility that the market could absolutely explode to the upside, so don't ever count that out. You'd be surprised when you've positioned yourself well, and then all of a sudden things happen. The market can also do the opposite. Okay, so a little bit of a deeper pullback coming in here. I'm looking, again, if it rejects from this level, which is 406.75, is a potential rejection level. That's a potential rejection level. But like right over here, 407. Is a rejection level here where the market might bounce from. You can also mark up and look at your fixed range volume profile, and you'll see that we're touching it right now. So we could also reject from there. But it's still early, we haven't officially shifted, so we're still pre-trend. That's why we're getting this deeper pullback. I was a hair early. Should have waited for the candle close. I didn't wait for the candle close, so now I got to deal with this. I got a little excited and jumped the gun. Okay, so the risk here is that if the market is not going to move from this level and it pushes lower, the chances are is that you're going to get a potential liquidity grab down in here. So you have a liquidity grab zone. So remember how the market is manipulative. So if it breaks down into here, it could come anywheres down in here to grab the liquidity from this, because they know that people have their stop losses there. And then from there, then they'll take the market higher, okay? So there is that chance though that we could bounce from this zone that we're at and go for the higher high. So we'll see what it does. I don't like taking the trades where like it could do this, it might do this. I don't like those. It's not the easy money trades. The easy money trades are when you have that momentum and it's solid and it's just easy. So, which is why we call it easy money. I want those high probability trades. And we try to avoid this stuff. So we'll see if we get the bounce here. We might take an L on this one. If you got in with me, I just jumped the gun just a little bit. So we might get lucky here. but I don't trade on luck. You guys can see we're in this range still, where here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range. So we're still in that range. If it does stay in the range, we're gonna get stopped out here, which it is breaking below that point of control, so I don't think we're gonna get this one. For this entry, it could liquidity grab, it could drop down in here first, and then we can decide from there. So still in, but if it goes any lower than that one, it's gonna knock me out here. But we're still early on it. More patience required. This is a really good example to show you guys the difference. Do you see this blue section in here? And then you have this red section. But look at the correspondence on the chart. Your blue section is a push. Your red section is sideways. That should tell you everything right there. The red section, if it was a trend, it would be going down. It's not going down. It's going sideways, which means buyers still have strength. The buyers are still in control. We'll just see if we can avoid taking the L on this one, which not anything we can do other than if you're just going to give a huge berth, which is just too much because it could still, again, it could drop lower. Okay, coming down, we might get stopped here. It's got a little bit of momentum. We do have a little bit of a support level in between us and the stop, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. I'm wondering if we're going to get the liquidity grab. All right, I need to eat some protein. Okay, so we're waiting here. This is going to be the level to break right here. So once we get above this level with that alert, that's what we're watching for. If it breaks lower, then we'll take the loss. And then I'll wait because, again, this analysis is still solid. So there's nothing wrong with any of the analysis. This was human error on my part, where both times I saw the market breaking higher and I rushed to get in. So then when you do that, then you end up getting stuck in like having to deal with this stuff and potentially taking losses. But we might get some grace here. We'll see. We might have some grace. We're still in the trade, and certainly if we get the buying signal, we'll have survived. So we'll see here. I have the thing set. I'm gonna go warm up my chicken real quick for some protein. I'm working on 15,000 steps today. This entire week I'm working on 15,000 steps, so it's going to be a lot. But I'll be right here. I'm just going to set this alert and go see if I can get the chicken. Things can happen very quickly, guys, so just set alerts and be ready.
Attention.
All right, watching to see if it breaks above or if it bounces again here. Looks like we might get the break, but we'll see. A little early.
Attention.
Almost.
Attention. Attention.
All right, waiting for the candle close here. There we go. Wow. That was God's grace on that one, guys. Do you see this? Look at that. Came very close to the stop loss here. And now we are in the push wave. So we should be beginning the push phase here. That first pullback to the cloud is where I'm going to load up. So it's time to focus in. If you are away from your computer, come back to your computer right now, quickly. It's time. Scalp high line. And the pain begins. Let the pain begin. Again, I really liked how this whole selling segment, you know, we're red here, but we're flat up here. Instead of this being down, it was flat. So that really gave us a clue as to what's going on in the market. We really liked that. So we're already in a winning position here from the buy, but technically we haven't even entered yet. So this is just a matter of patience now. And once this gets back, we'll get our actual position loaded up. Price crossing down on Pathfinder close, basis colored. Okay? Only once is going to be our full close. Higher high going in the market. Let me see those diamond fists. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let me get an alert set for the next diamond here. Pathfinder 4.0. I think it's diamond blue is what it is. I'll set them both, but jackpot. Alert. Yes, thank you for that. There's another diamond right there. All right, we're at, oh my gosh, that diamond happened fast. All right, go ahead and close the trade. Yep, diamond blue. We haven't even had a pullback to the cloud yet. So here's our first level that we just got right here. Beautiful. Cool. Overall target is here. Let's go. Good job, everybody. Patience pays. All right, we have momentum. So that next entry, we haven't even had that. That was just the pre. We risked it. We risked it on this one where I got in early. I gave space like you have to give space because it was still preemptive. It was a preemptive strike. As soon as that buying label came in, if you had entered there, you would have been just a little bit higher and you could have taken it for that higher high, or you could hold it. But we're gonna get in this next position, and this next position is the bonus trade. It's a bonus trade, okay? It's bonus. You guys should all be up for the day, no matter what. No matter what, we're gonna look to get risk-free on this next one, okay? So we're gonna see if we can hit a good one and get it. This next one is gonna be the one that determines how the day goes. All right. Looking for the pullback into the cloud. This is a bonus trade. I don't want you to, whatever you risk on this next trade, you do not give back what you've already made in the market. So if I'm up 331, maybe I risk 200 on this, okay? So if I give a little bit of space, and I say, all right, here's my cloud. Bottom of my cloud is at 446. So if I put a stop loss at 443, people are like, that's pretty close. This is a bonus trade. It's a bonus trade, okay? If I lose, no matter what, I'm done for the day. Lose or win. Last trade of the day, lose or win. I'm looking for a momentum continuation trade. I want momentum on my side, okay? If it doesn't give me momentum, it's because it's a potential Wyckoff. All right? So we don't touch it. If it drops back and we hit 443 in here, we're done, okay? So if this gets down in here, we're touching 443 and we don't get the bounce, no matter what, we're done. I'm only risking $115 on this. 4 contracts. So it's just a bonus trade. No matter what, I make money for the day. What is it? I have it set at 443. So we're about to find out here if this thing is going to be a deeper pullback, which tells me that this is a liquidity hunt to the upside, unless it continues around. So what are we at? We're at 447 right now. Let's get that just marker on 443 here so we know. About to hit it. Yeah, we're done for the day, guys. That's it. That's it. We didn't get the momentum here that we were looking for. So we're not taking the continuation. So you're going to lock yourself out. Done for the day, in profit, lockout. You should have made money, moved yourself forward, one step closer to passing your evaluation. But that's it. That's it right there. We don't play around. If we don't get the momentum off that, it's a no-go. Okay? So we hit this right here. That was a great trade. And then on the pullback, it pulled back farther than what we're looking for. Even though this may still continue up, I want that fast-paced continuation from in here. I want that. I don't want this. Okay? All right, we're done. Everybody should be locked out in profit. Let me see those diamond fists. Eloisa, how'd you go down? Talk to me. What happened? What happened? Let me help. Okay, that's what we're gonna work on this week is no paper hands. No paper hands. Move it forward, but in order to move it forward, you gotta hold, okay? Gots to hold. No paper hands, no emotions in it. It's just pure analysis, and you take what you get, okay? So it's all right, journal it, and just do better tomorrow, and just work on that. At least you know what the problem is, so you know what to fix. But two really good trades in there. That this one could have been a bad trade. I actually, you know what, guys? Straight up, I'm gonna call this a bad trade. I understand that it won, but I was preemptive. I as soon as that thing started hitting my blue, I got in right away, right? So that's a bad trade. I didn't wait for the confirmation. If I had waited for this buying confirmation, that would have been a fine trade. Good trade. I got in early. So even though there was mercy and I got that, it was a bad trade. Same thing with this one. It was preemptive, bad trade. Paid the price. Almost paid the price on this one. Got it. This was a good trade that is coming back in here and likely turning around. This is what this looks like. So we're done though. We did our job. We're done for the call for today. It's time to go work, exercise, do other things. But good job today. We did have that good trade, and we did win this one, even though I'm not going to call it a good trade, but this was good. So well done. Diamond hands, guys. That's the name of the game this week is diamond hands. Okay? So that's okay. Just correct the mistakes. I got to correct my mistakes. I got in early. I was waiting really patiently, and then I got impatient, and I just couldn't wait the last 60 seconds for the candle to paint and confirm. So that was my bad on my part, okay? I take ownership of my faults there. So I'm gonna work on my stuff, you work on your stuff, and then we'll meet back in the middle tomorrow. All right, love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch you then.